Now, for the few persons that watches my video, they will know that I usually say, "Welcome to another podcast of current situation at Manchester United." But Manchester United season is basically, not basically, it's finished. But there's of course transfer news. But I'm not going to get into that. I'm just want to talk about Manchester City's triumph against Inter Milan in the Champions League final. Um, if you guys haven't been up on game, if you guys haven't heard the good news, the non-fictional fairy tale, Man City has actually not only won the Champions League, but they have actually won the treble, which certain persons are still not giving Pep Guardiola his credit for. I'm gonna get into that sometime soon in this video, but for starters, yes, City has won the Champions League against Inter Milan. Um, Here's the funny thing though. A couple weeks back, I was saying that Inter Milan was going to win it. So, they had the experience. They have been in that atmosphere before. They have won it at least once. Um, Maybe they're not toe to toe with City when it comes down to players in the squad, but I'm pretty sure they can hold out at least for a good while. They can score a goal. They're good on set pieces. So, me myself at the time, I was thinking that City could actually lose to Inter Milan. Of course, Pep Guardiola overthinking things in the semi-finals and the finals. So that was something that was not bewildered, but something that was dawning on my mind at the time, thinking that Pep is going to actually scrub. He's going to battle this final again because of his overthinking, trying to overcomplicate things. Trying to play 6 minute midfield, one up top, three at the back, two at the back, whatever. But anyway, he actually won it today against Inter Milan, and a few days before the final, I said to myself, you know what? With how things are right now, I'm going with City for the win. I'm going with City for the win. They just have a better side on paper, to be honest. They are playing good football. They have superstars in almost any position. I mean, I was surprised to see not only Walker not starting, but also Foden didn't start, and Mars didn't even start. These are star players, man. These players will be starting for some sides in a Champions League final, and they're on the bench for City. So it just goes to show that Pep Guardiola knows how to utilize his squad. Because nobody can just win a treble like that if they don't have the know-how. Again, he's won a treble, at least two, no, not two treble, that's a lie. He's won a treble with Barcelona. He had a chance to win a treble with Bayern Munich. He didn't win a treble at Bayern Munich. He didn't even win the Champions League at Bayern Munich. He came to Man City, and then after some years of disappointment in Champions League, although they went to knockout rounds, to no avail. They haven't won the Champions League. But this season, today, on the 9th of June, in the year of our Lord 2023, he's actually sealed the deal and won the Champions League with Manchester City. Now, a few take-home points from this game. Of course, I was thinking that Inter Milan would lose to City 3-1. Yeah, that's the score I thought at first. But when I saw the lineup and how the game was going first few minutes, I'm saying to myself, this is going to be quite a slow game. So, Mama, this is going to be quite a slow game because judging on how both sides are going at it, don't get me wrong, both sides were aggressive. Both sides are aggressive. No, City wasn't aggressive as they usually are. But for Inter Milan to try go aggressive with Man City, not uncalled for. That's unknown for. Because usually against City, man, you're trying to suck out space, trying to be compact, and trying to drop back, making sure you're not even unnecessary space. So say go give them the ball for most of the time because your primary goal is not to concede. That wasn't the plan for Inter Milan. Inter Milan was like aggressively pressuring the players of Man City, and some players started to crumble. Like De Bruyne wasn't the De Bruyne, given that he was probably playing in a different role, but De Bruyne wasn't the same De Bruyne, man. He was playing a different role. And also, Haaland this wasn't the Haaland that most persons know. The goal scorer that will get the goals. He had a couple chances, but he didn't put them to bed. But chances were created from both ends. Lukaku not starting for Inter Milan. Martinez messing up. Well, I don't know about I don't. Some City fans are probably happy right now that they didn't get Martinez to replace Sergio Aguero, because this Bridging man, he's not the real deal, man. This Bridging is made out of China, man. This is, if you're a top manager, this is not the striker you need to be going for. Or if you don't care about the quality and that he's just a goal scorer, then go for that striker. But in my view, as a manager, because I play career mode, right? So I guess I'm a manager myself. But I'm not signing a striker like that, man. If I have a striker like he's not starting a final. If I have a striker like this, I'm not playing him in a final. He's on the bench. He can come on in the second half and probably do his business and go out, get a goal and thing, but he's not going to be starting. He's not going to be the main starter. It's because if you saw how City and Man United, if you saw how City and Inter Milan were playing in the first half, it was like a chess game, a tug and war match. This side of possession, them get possession, them get possession, this side possession. And even when Inter Milan got possession, they had nothing to show for it really. It's like they won it back and lose it back after 3 seconds, because they're trying to beat the press of City by getting it forward. So they go try to play this long ball, boom, they lost it. And they can pass the ball toe to toe with City, because City go win by that ball and dominate possession. They know that. So for them to actually press, yes, and get possession of the ball, but what is there to what's the benefit of it? They had nothing to show for it, man. And that's why they were second best. Some person may say City were second best in the first half, Inter Milan. My opinion, although Inter Milan was aggressive in their press without the ball, they were second best, man. Because City had the most chances, man. And unfortunate for Inter at the time anyway, they didn't score any of their chances. Yeah. So yeah, De Bruyne got injured. It's unfortunate. Person think that, oh, De Bruyne is injured, Man City hopes are now crushed down. We have no players that could have. Dude, you have players all over the pitch that can get a goal for you. Gundogan, I can even close my eyes and say Edison can probably get a goal for you. So I mean, if you're talking about creating chances, Gundogan can create from deep and get you a goal. Who else? Grealish can get a goal. Grealish is Grealish is good. Who else? Yeah, I mean they had Haaland, man. Any ball thrown into the box, Haaland is going to get onto that. But De Bruyne was injured. De Bruyne was injured, unfortunately. Then Foden came in, things change up, and self played. Things were how should I say this? They played more intensely, because apparently the type of game that De Bruyne is used to, that wasn't the game that was played in the City and Inter Milan match, which kind of caught him out short because both sides were pressing. Do you know De Bruyne being good in tight spaces when under pressure? I can recall. I can recall. No, in space he's brilliant. He's brilliant. No, I'll say this. To be objective, he's good in tight spaces, but he's not as quick as like a Mahrez or like a Foden. He doesn't have that feet to meet the criteria of being in those tight positions to create space and get the ball to someone that's in high advanced position in a tight space when someone is just pressuring him like that. But he's still a world class player. We know this. He's a world class player. This is well known. But anyway, man, skipping over the heavy details, man. Rodrigo get a goal for City, and City found themselves 1-0 up. Then a few minutes later, Inter Milan got a few chances to put to bed to equalize. And Romelu Lukaku of Inter Milan, yes, he's a striker. Some person think he's a defender because he was defending out for Man City. This bridging go block the goal, and they couldn't equalize. So it basically was like a enemy in Inter Milan's clothing. Like he was like anti Inter Milan. He had a couple chances to actually score in Lukaku. Didn't put them to bed, and he got block a shot. He got block a shot that was taken. Like, bro, man. See, person, this is one reason why person can't take Lukaku seriously, and it's not that he's a bad striker. It's the fact that when it comes on to like a final like that, where you need to be at your most clinical, because you're not going to get much chances to score anyway. This is not the striker to depend on, man. This is not the striker to depend on, man. You need someone that's clinical, man. Get one chance, boom, 1-0 up. But yeah, City won a treble. Kudos to you. I mean, Pep said it that Sir Alex Ferguson, well, he's happy enough that Sir Alex Ferguson, he's happy to be alongside Sir Alex Ferguson winning the treble. Here's the thing, dude. Seeing that City has won the treble, here's two things you need to anticipate right now. As years go progress, as seasons go on, there's going to be this ongoing, off-going debate on which side won the better trebles, Manchester City or Manchester United. What the better season? 1998, 1999, 2022, 2023. Was the better manager Sir Alex Ferguson or Pep Guardiola? Was the better strike? I mean, City had just one striker, bro. We had both four strikers. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wasn't much of a starter. Andy Cole and Dwight York. That's three strikers. Excuse my I wasn't good at numbers anyway. I don't like maths, isn't me? So if I'm not good at numbers, excuse my deficiency in that category. But you get what I'm saying. They had enough strikers, but we were playing with a 4-4-2. City is playing with one striker up top. So that's not really a debate, but I'm saying that this is going to be a debate of who won the better treble. Because apparently some United fans will like that City won the treble because they wanted the treble to be only for them. The only Premier League club that won a treble is me. Now it's shared alongside 50-50 split with Man City because they won the treble today and we won the treble, but like what? Almost 30 years ago. So they don't like that. City for it's kind of dark. Man United fans don't like that. Here's the thing, dude. I'm gonna talk about Pep Guardiola. Um, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best final. It was quite a boring final, to be honest. At least in my opinion. Hey, you might say something different, but it was a quite boring. It was a quite boring final, man. Chances from both ends. Wasn't enthralling and entertaining, but City won the final, so it's good on them, right? It's good on them. Here's the thing I want to say about Pep Guardiola though, because persons still isn't giving this Virgin his flowers, man. They think that this Virgin is just a good manager when he has a good paycheck and good players at his behest, in his corner. He's at a good club. He can win the Champions League. Here's where it's like a two-edged sword for Pep Guardiola. You see, man, I can't even say spelling properly. If Pep Guardiola didn't win this treble, specifically if he didn't win the Champions League today, person would still criticize him. Oh, he's a fraud. He can't even do it with the players that he has. He has world-class players. He spent this big money on Erling Haaland. Yes, he scored almost 60 goals in a season, but what's all that if you can't win the Champions League final? You can't even get a goal in Champions League final, He's a fraud. This Pep Guardiola. He's been a fraud since his days at Barcelona. I know my Manchester City, you wish I would. That never will happen. But, hey, I know I'm a Manchester United supporter, but I'll say this. Pep Guardiola is one of the best managers to ever grace football. Period. So, hey, bury your hatred, swallow your pride, eat a humble pie or something because this Virgin is going to be here for a long while. He's still a young manager. He's going to be here for probably next 20 years or so. So he's not going nowhere. He's not going nowhere. He's going to continue winning trophies, whether at Man City or, well, I believe he's going to leave soon after next season, or he might even leave after this season. But he's going to still continue winning trophies. Now, here, of course, person will say, well, in comparison to Jose Mourinho, Jose Mourinho didn't have the accolades, the money, the paycheck, to get his players at when he was at Real Madrid. Dude, this Bridging got Adebayor in the on loan. He wanted Adebayor. I think Higuain was probably injured or something, but he wanted Adebayor. He also got um Sahin from whichever club he came from at the time. He got Sahin on loan. You're saying those aren't his? He got his players at Real Madrid. No, I'm not saying that he got his players like he wanted this and that, and he got this and that. But the majority of his players he got at Real Madrid. And with the squad that he got at Real Madrid, Jose Mourinho, I mean, he had Ronaldo in his peak, man. This brethren scored 50, late mid 50s, 60 goals, 60 goals, I can't even talk, per season from 2011 straight to 2014. And Jose Mourinho left Real Madrid in 2013. Now, he came close to winning the Champions League against when he got knocked out by in the semifinals in 2012 against Bayern Munich, and in 20 what when was it 2020 was it 2013? Oh, yeah, 2013 when he got knocked out by I don't remember what club knocked out Real Madrid in 2013 Champions League, but still, man, Jose Mourinho had chances to win with a big club. Of course, he wanted with Inter Milan. I'm pretty sure he wanted Inter Milan to win the Champions League today. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So Pep Guardiola, although he's been spoiled to a degree given the clubs that he's managed, given the amount of money he was given to sign his players, the amount of freedom he was given to express himself as a manager at the clubs that he managed, he's still a world class manager and he deserves his flowers. And this is a rival saying that. So, it kills me to even be saying that. Because Pep has cooked Manchester United in the past, man. I remember in the final, I didn't watch the final live, but I remember watching it as a highlights in 2011. Barcelona against United in the final, we didn't even touch the ball. We didn't even touch the ball for most of the time. We didn't touch the ball. Man, that Barcelona side dominated. No other manager at the time, I don't think, not even Ancelotti or Mourinho or some other manager, would have used that Barcelona side and dominate us like that. I don't think so. I don't. Klopp was in his diaper. No, that wasn't in his diapers. Klopp was a good manager when he was at Dortmund. He was at Dortmund in 2011, but still, at the time, no manager other than Pep could have used that Barcelona squad and dominated us in that final. Now, you could say that on both ends, we didn't have the best players in comparison to Barcelona. Barcelona had their prime peaked players from goalkeeper to striker. May I start? Valles person will say, well, Valles was always average. He was a good goalkeeper in my opinion. Alves was in his prime. PK was in his prime. Who else? Puyol was somewhat past it, but he was still a good defender. He wasn't starting much, but he was still a good defender. Mascherano was a good defender. I wouldn't say he was world class, but he was a good defender. Abidal, I believe, was our left back. He wasn't a world class defender, at least not at the time, but he was good. And given that he just came back from cancer, coming cancer, punching cancer in the face and giving it a knockout blow, I would say probably he was world class for that. But I'm talking about as a player, he was good. In midfield, so that midfield was world class. Sergio Busquets was world class. Xavi was world class. Iniesta was world class. Pedro was very good. I wouldn't say world class, but he was very good. Messi as a false nine was on a different level. This was probably peaked Messi. This not probably. This was peaked Messi. And you have David Villa as a world class striker on the left wing. That came in as an inside forward and get goals. Our squad, we had Rooney, that's arguably only our proper good player alongside with Nani. and Giggs was playing a central role. Fletcher wasn't starting. We had when him again. Jason Park starting to give us enough energy to drop back and defend. Valencia was playing right back. No, actually, he was playing right wing, but given I would he based on how the setup was, Valencia was dropping back, so he didn't have much um freedom to explore on the right hand side or attack like a Nani. Nani wasn't given that much, but he had to drop back because dude, City, not City, Barcelona was killing us with press at the time. So if we go give them space, they're going to score, and they did score, but they didn't get that goal from getting space from us. They scored because a killer pass from Xavi to Pedro killed us right there, and Messi could dribble past couple players and get a shot off outside of the box and score. And Villa, with a world-class curler, got the third goal to kill it. Yeah, we got to go with Rooney 1-1, but that goal didn't hold us out, man. We still lost. So it goes to show us that Pep Guardiola, dude, Sir Alex Ferguson even go shake the man's hand. Because Sir Alex Ferguson knew that he was beaten fair and square. His hand was clenched. He was frustrated, but he was letting that frustration out in the gum that he was chewing. Hey, Sir Alex Ferguson is always chewing on his gum, man. If you know say he's frustrated, just look at the way he's chewing his gum. You can tell when he's frustrated. But we lost that fair and square, so I don't want to be here and say, oh, anybody could have won with that Barcelona side. No, 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 no. Seriously, no, no. No manager could have won that with the way Barcelona played number one and number two with the players that they had. That was a world class side that beat a very good Manchester United side. That was like our last chapter of Manchester United being a world class side with Sir Alex Ferguson. You see me? Yeah. So back to this thing with Pep Guardiola at Man City. Yeah, Man City's Pep Guardiola as manager deserves respect. Again, that's a lot for me to be saying because I'm not a big fan of his brethren, given that he manages Man City. But I'm a football fan, and I acknowledge good football when I see it. And he's a very world class manager. Very world class manager. Man, what the hell is that? I can't even talk English. He's a very good, not even very good, that's another thing. He's a world class manager. Now, if you were to ask me if he would have won the Champions League with a Porto or with a Inter Milan, I would probably say no, to be honest. And this may seem for me to be contradictory because I'm saying he's world class. And when you're a world class manager, you should be able to adapt your tactics with the side that you're using, not using, but the side that you're managing to win the Champions League. I mean, Pep posted in his diapers, man, when Mourinho go knock him out of although he won the treble. The treble. Yeah, he won the treble then, but he was still in his diapers as a manager. He was still a young manager when Mourinho go knock him out with Inter Milan at the Camp Nou 1-0. Because Mourinho had the know-how. Call it anti-football or whatever. He was closing up shop, he was parking bus. Call it whatever you want to call it. But he got result. And so on certain sides in the finals, just because they got a goal, they are motivated to yet go for another goal. And that's why they concede and then lose in the end because, as the statement says in football, you're at your most vulnerable when you just score. Emotions are high, hormones are through the roof. It's me. So you're not going to be stable after scoring a goal. But certain managers call them, anti-football. They're going to say, all right, boom, we get a goal. Especially when we are the black sheep, we are not expected to be in this position. We got a goal. Let us defend out and hit them on the break. Yeah. So yeah, man. Pep Guardiola reserves his flaws. Yes. So yeah, maybe he may not have won the Champions League or even a treble with Inter Milan. Well, he probably would have won the league, of course. But I mean, the Champions League with Inter Milan at the time was a very world class side, Had world class players like Schneider, Milito, who else? Lucio, Julius Caesar, who else? Man, Eto. No, yeah, Eto was at Barcelona at the time. It was at Barcelona at the time. Yeah, it was at Barcelona at the time. No, Eto was at No, Eto was at Inter Milan. He was in the squad before he made the swap with Zlatan to go to Barcelona. Yeah, Eto was with Inter Milan. Milito, man, they had players, man. So of course, well, here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. Eto was saying something when comparing Mourinho and Pep Guardiola. He was basically saying that what Mourinho has done with this squad, Pep Guardiola wouldn't have done with the squad. And he basically said that he would play right. Well, he did play right wing for Jose Mourinho because he's a striker. Eto, he's a striker, but he accommodated himself. Not that he had a choice. Anyway, you're the player, not the manager. for Mourinho to start him as a right winger when you have Milito as the main striker. He said he wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have compromised himself for no Pep Guardiola. He wouldn't. Person may be saying, oh, he's hurt because Pep Guardiola pushed him out of Barcelona. Maybe, but you have to understand that certain managers have certain philosophies, man. Certain persons, certain players are not suitable for certain managers. That's why Zlatan wasn't suitable or compatible with Pep Guardiola as a manager. But with Mourinho, who has managed Zlatan before, he got on with Zlatan. He's worked with Zlatan at Inter Milan. It's me. So, and at Manchester United as years went by. So he knows Mourinho. He breathes Mourinho. It's me. If you didn't know any better, he would say Zlatan is related to Mourinho's family. Yeah. So Pep Guardiola is saying that let me finish this video right now because I know this video is long. To be saying that he's honor, it's an honor to be alongside Sir Alex Ferguson, given that Sir Alex Ferguson won a treble. Certain Man United fans may say, oh, it's different times, back then football was real thing, man. It's like soft paper bags playing football today, man. Anybody can win trophies, man. But back then in the late 80s, in the late 90s, when football was real football, person were really going after it, it's hard to get a treble. I would say this, respect our football's era. I would say, respect our football's era. And I say that in the context and reference to Pele, because persons don't want to give Pele his flaws. My man's passed away some months now, and person ain't giving this bridging his flaws because they're saying, oh man, I could have scored all them goals back then when there was no offside. You could have just pinged the pass over to me and run and score. It wasn't that easy. I've scored. I've seen the goals Pele scored. Dude, not even a half decent player would have scored most of those goals. Not a half, no. And even if offside wasn't in existence then, you would have to give the man his credit. Look at the goals him score, man, for Santos and Brazil. You think any player could have done that? If any player could have done that, they would have done it. And player would be seen as a regular player. So I'll say that to make reference that, hey, any manager that has the credentials of Pep Guardiola deserves credit. Yes, he's a checkbook manager, but that's because he wants the players that he wants. He doesn't want to work with certain players. Although with certain managers, they have to work with the players they don't want to work with. And they have to make magic out of the trash. They have to basically use trashy players to try make them tactics work, and it's not working, but they stick with it. Set my lips still. So in wrapping up, I don't want this to be a lengthy eulogy because I don't want to be blowing praises up of Pep Guardiola, but I say this because I believe that he deserves his flaws and credits. It's not happy seeing Man City winning the treble, but they have won the treble. Why you go about it? Hmm? You go mope about it. You go mope about it. You go call 5-0 about it. Hmm? Come on. They have won the treble. They deserve that. I don't even think they lost a game in the Champions League. I don't think so, man. They won 12 games, 12, and lost none. And go Palmer side 7-0. I believe it was RB Leipzig or something. They knocked out Bayern Munich. They knocked out Real Madrid. You're saying that they're not deserving of the Champions League? You think any manager could have used that side? Yes, a good side to knock out a world-class side like Real Madrid, which is not easy to beat in the Champions League. Bayern Munich, that's not easy to beat in the Champions League. You're a regular manager. You think it's easy to do that now? Tuchel, as good as he couldn't even knock out Pep Guardiola side. Well, he just came to, but I don't want to be hearing that. If you're good enough, you can settle down easily. You have enough world class players then to use to knock out Man City. It's about tactics, man. Not about the players themselves. Yes, players add to the tactics, but if you have all these world class, I've said this before, if you have all these world class players, but you don't have a suitable system that is the driving force of the side, then your side goes subside, man. Basically, your side is not going to make it. Simple as. So anyway, I want to finish this right now. Congrats to Manchester City. That's the most praises you're going to get from me on a video, on a particular video. No more praises after this video. I've given you much. I've basically inflated your ego. I've given you more than enough. Because I know you go say, oh, this Man United fan give me praises saying I'm one of the best managers in the world. Oh, I appreciate. He's not really Manchester United fan, is he? You don't even have a Manchester United jersey. He just in this. He always wear these black shirts. I don't even think he's a Man United fan. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on Pep Guardiola. Anyway, comments down below. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Maybe it's just me rambling. Maybe yes, I did some rambling, but comments down below. I want to hear what you guys have to say on Pep Guardiola when they treble and Champions League. I know some persons don't like it, but hey, they have won the Champions League for the first time. For some, if you're a Real Madrid supporter, you're not bothered by that because they've won it like 15 times. And if you're a Manchester United supporter, you've won it like 4 times or something. So you're not really bothered. But hey, we have to work. We have to work on ourselves, Manchester United. But anyway, that's not on Manchester United. I'll show you guys in the next video podcast. I'm not sure when, but yeah, yeah, man, that's it, man. Hey, let me say this: Haaland may win the Ballon d'Or. Haaland may win the Ballon d'Or with how things are. Top scorer of the Premier League. He's won the Premier League. He's won the treble. He's won the Champions League. One of the best strikers, not top 5 strikers in Europe. He's going to be a good show to win the Ballon d'Or. But don't count out Messi because Messi won the World Cup last year. So he's in a good position to win the Ballon d'Or. Anyway, I'm out. You guys leave your comments down below, like and subscribe to the channel if you're a Manchester United supporter. I see you until then. I'm out.